So we started this sift already, and found some interesting stuff. Got this, some tortoise bone. These are all, I believe these are all tortoise bone pieces. This is also tortoise bone. This I think is a rib bone piece. Same with this, dugong rib bone to be exact. Just a large piece of bone. We've got some agatized material here. Like, it might be coral, it might be seashells. This one reminds me of like an oyster shell bit. And this is a tiny little bachiodal agatized bits. Got our shark's teeth. Ignore the glass, that's just garbage I removed. A snaggletooth. This one's probably my largest that I found so far. And then this is pretty cool. This was found by the tour guide, but she nicely gifted it to me. A Glyptodon scoot. So that's pretty fun. But yeah, we're just sifting out on the river, and I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna try and take you guys with me. I got a waterproof case. That might be why the audio sounds a little weird, but I'll show you guys some of the sifting. So once you have your material in the sifter, you just start looking through. You can see right here I've got a ray mouthplate piece. You can see there's also, this is like a bone fragment. But the idea is you just sift through this and you look for shark teeth. So far I've been having good luck. There's one. It's hard to see if I'm getting it on video correctly. Hopefully I am. But yes, you just sift through and you look for that shark teeth kind of shape slash glow, because the enamel kind of is a bit more shinier than, like, let's say the regular rock slash here we go. Here's another ray mouthpiece. Pretty big one. And actually, I see a shark's tooth right here. Small one, broken one, but shark's tooth nonetheless. It's hard to see if my camera is focusing with all the glare and stuff, but hopefully it is. Here's another one I just pulled out. But yeah, that's basically what you do. You just kind of sift through.
Do you see it? You see the tip sticking out?
I see something over here.
Nope. It's like in the middle.
Middle. Oh.
I don't know if it's complete, so.
You want me to do the honors?
It's you. It's all yours.
Oh, half.
Nice. It's all yours to keep too.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is an example. Hopefully we can find a whole one of this. But this is a Megalodon, correct?
Yes.
Wow, that is cool. Here we have another small one. So yeah, you can find smalls, but then you can also, like that Megalodon, you can hopefully find some big ones. But I'll get back to sifting. I'll definitely show you guys other cool stuff if it does pop up. But for now, I'm just going to get back to sifting. So this is the hole that I'm just sifting in. And I got the sifter, and it's a pretty smart setup. So we got these Lowe's nail bags that we throw our fossils in, and then just a lanyard with a chain, a hookup, and that way your equipment doesn't float off. But I'm just digging down in there and getting my fossils that way. Check that out.
Look at that.
That is a beautiful tooth. Nice. We've got a nice hemi sitting right here. Look at that. Looks awesome, hemi. So folks, can you spot the teeth? Right there. And then right there. We've got something. And Ray. And broken tooth. One seems to have some stuff in it, so we'll... Oh, yeah. Small tooth. Broken tooth. Small tooth. Lots of teeth in this one. See if we can find any big ones. I just pulled out this lovely tiger. Moved to another spot just to try it out, because I moved to another spot just to try it out because the other spot was just kind of petering out and just only producing small shark's teeth. So I'm going to try over here and see if I can find something nice and big. I just pulled out this Glyptodon scoop. Pretty cool little thing. The Glyptodons are like an extinct giant armadillo kind of creature. Or related to armadillos at least, I think. Very cool. I've got a large hemi here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is a nice one.
Look at that.
Very pretty.
Nice. Just finishing up today. This is kind of the spread. Got a handful of really nice hemis. That partial mag there. Nice osteoderm piece from a Glyptodon. Smaller one too. Bunch of bone, bunch of shark teeth. That's a large turtle bone section. We've got some, they might be agatized, they might be calcified. I don't know, I'll have to test them out. I think they're agatized personally. They look more like agate than calcite, or agate than calcite to me. But then we've also got some other stuff. That's a chert nodule that I just took home. I'm taking home as an example. But yeah, we've got a whole bunch of cool fossil stuff. Lots of cool stuff. So here are some of the more interesting finds cleaned up. Thought I'd talk about some of them more unique finds, and plus just there are some basic fossils here, and it's more just to show you guys what those basic fossils look like, so that you guys can kind of have a good idea of maybe what to expect if you were ever to collect in the Peace River, if you ever decided to go on vacation in that area and you wanted to. This would kind of be maybe the spread that you could expect. To begin with the stars of the show, the Megalodon. So I managed to pull out a bunch of tooth fragments of Megalodon. You can usually tell by kind of the cross section, the size, and then if they're not too worn, also the fact that they have these serrations along the edge. So our tour guide Sam, she was having some good luck pulling out a bunch of large partial megs, and so she all allowed us, everybody who was on the tour with her, got to pick out a Megalodon tooth, which was really cool. And this is the one I got to pick out. You can see the serrations are a bit worn by the river, most likely. It's a bit worn by the river, but you can definitely see the serrations. You can see that the shape, it kind of has a slight curl to it, especially closer to the tip. And then the root of the tooth. I think this is called the crown, and then this is called the root. And there's some stripes along there, and it's kind of got some coloration to it. The Peace River, the reason a lot of the fossils that come out of the Peace River are so black, for example, this little posterior meg, our tour guide Sam seemed to think it was a posterior meg, which basically just means it comes from the back of the mouth of the Megalodon. So it's a smaller, kind of more curved, slightly curved tooth. Still has those serrations. But the reason these a lot of the fossils out of the Peace River are so black, to get back to what I was talking about, is because the tannins in the river, which are just basically like compounds, organic compounds, and I believe other compounds that have kind of leached out of the soil usually. but I believe its tannins are organic in nature. They stain the fossils black. These fossils come out of the actual formations in a whole bunch of different colors due to like chemicals and minerals in the formations, but most of them aren't black. I believe there are some formations in Bone Valley that do produce teeth that are black, but then their roots are actually pure white. So only the crown part of the tooth is stained black. And that's not because of tannins, and that's because of some other type of mineralization that's in the formation with those fossils. But yeah, once these fossils fall into the river and they spend enough time in the river, they turn black. Probably my favorite shark's teeth are the ones from Hemiprestus, also known as the Snaggletooth. And you can see the teeth are actually quite varied in size and shape. Like these, if you had no idea, these look totally different from these, and you might think that you'd be probably easily mistaken that you think that comes from a different shark. But all of these teeth come from the same shark, and that's because with sharks, either depending on which jaw it is, if it's the upper or lower, or where in the jaw, in the front of the jaw, or in the back of the jaw, like the posterior, the teeth of the shark will have different shapes, and the Snaggletooth is a great example of that. Maybe what I'll do is I'll throw up a kind of like a tooth chart. You can get there are these charts out there that kind of show where these teeth show up in the mouth of the shark, and where you'd expect to find these teeth in the mouth, and their positioning and everything, and it's quite interesting. This is the largest one I found. It has a little bit of wear, but overall I am quite happy with this tooth. It's got some dark blues and blacks, so it's just not one uniform color, so I like that. And then most of the serrations are there, and it's not too worn, so I'm quite happy with this being in my collection. So another group of sharks that you can find the teeth of are the tiger sharks, though technically this one is a tiger shark-like shark and isn't actually part of the tiger shark group. It's from a separate group, but the teeth seem to be very similar, and that's probably just due to convergent evolution. And then these up here, these are all tiger sharks, if I remember correctly. And there used to be a lot more different species of tiger sharks. I think there are a couple still extant, or at least the modern tiger shark that is out there. I think there might be a couple different species of tiger shark, or maybe subspecies. But I believe the tiger shark group used to be a lot more varied, and there used to be a lot more separate species of tiger shark. The two most common groups of shark's teeth that you can find in the Peace River seem to be the lemon sharks, and then those in the gray shark group. And here, these are lemon shark teeth. Now, there are some of the gray sharks, I believe they have their lower teeth can look similar to lemon sharks, but the big thing is that the tips of the gray shark teeth will have fine serrations, whereas lemon shark teeth, I believe, shouldn't have any serrations. And here's just a spread of kind of like what you expect. And actually, interestingly enough, these two, I believe, are more fresh because they're less stained black, like especially the roots. Usually, if you look at the roots and they're a little bit less black, for example, this one, I think this one's been in the river a long time, and you can usually tell also just about by the water, like how worn it is by the water. These look a lot more fresh, so I believe these two probably were swept into the river more recently when compared to, like, let's say these bottom three, which seem to have more wear and are more stained black. These teeth are an example of the other common group of sharks that I mentioned, the gray sharks. The bull shark is in this group, and I believe most of these are probably bull shark teeth. That seems to be the most common gray shark. There are other gray sharks, but especially since a lot of these seem to be a bit worn by the the river, it's hard to tell them apart, so it's probably just a safer bet to say gray shark, maybe bull shark, or probably bull shark, because that seems to be the more common gray shark that seems to show up for the fossil teeth. Moving on to the mammalian fossils. One of my goals on this trip was to hopefully find some giant armadillo fossil pieces, and I had some luck with that. So all of these are giant armadillo scutes. So this would have come from their like outer exoskeleton. No, I don't know what to call it. Like a shell, basically. And these specifically come from Glyptodon, which is a type of extinct giant armadillo creature. There was another type of giant armadillo. I think those tend to be a bit rarer than Glyptodon. But I managed to find... this one was gifted to me by the tour guide. This is a piece of a Glyptodon scute, and you can kind of see there's like a flower-like pattern. So there'd be more on top of here, and it'd kind of be somewhat like of a hexagon shape, and then you'd have like this flower-like pattern on some of the scutes. And then some of them would be more simple. Probably one of the most common mammalian fossils you're going to find in the Peace River are dugong rib bones, and these are all sections of dugong rib bone, most likely, or I believe so. They have the right type of shape, and they there's a lot of them. On this trip, I just took any big fossilized bone back with me. If I ever go again, I'll be a lot more selective. But I wanted to kind of have a good spread and a good representation of what you'd commonly find in the Peace River. And so, dugong rib bones, very common. You'll find a lot of them. And a lot of the time with the more seasoned collectors, they'll just toss them out because there's so much of it in the Peace River. Making a quick segue away from the mammalian bone fossils, I thought I'd also talk about another very common bone fossil you'll find, and that is of the turtle shell, tortoise shell variety. Now these are some of the more interesting looking turtle shell / tortoise shell fossils that I found. This one is, you can obviously see the individual like scutes of the shell. This one is part of the turtle shell, but I believe it's like basically like the collarbone or chest bone of the turtle, and it would kind of fit in with the bone of the turtle shell. And then this bone, interestingly enough, is actually a tortoise bone. It's part of a tortoise, and this is, I believe, it's called a bone spur. I believe it would have been on the foot or maybe the leg of the tortoise. And this is a more uncommon, more unique tortoise / turtle bone to find. I believe with the turtle shell, another thing I will mention is that there are different species of turtle, and I'm sure some of them will have different patterns on their actual shell parts, so you might be able to kind of tell which general group of species it might come from, but I don't know how accurate that would be. To finish off, we've got a couple miscellaneous ones that I wanted to show you. I think most of these or all of these are mammalian. That one might be fish. It might be something called a tilly bone, or it might be something else. But let's start with this one. This is actually the enamel cap off of the tooth of a horse. So before we Europeans brought horses to North America, there were other horses that lived in North America. Unfortunately, they went extinct. This bone, I believe, might be some sort of vertebra, or maybe a knuckle bone of some sort. Maybe like the bone off of some type of femur, but I'm not 100% sure. Here's another kind of femur-like bone. It's got somewhere where it would slide into a joint, most likely. I don't know if it's mammal or maybe bird. Not 100% sure. And this bone here, I believe it seems to match what would be a mammalian toe bone. Of what type of mammal, I don't know. Looks like a smaller mammal. So maybe like a beaver or some other type of, like a small horse, who knows? Not 100% sure. I don't know if you can actually tell the species of mammal from just this single bone, and it's not all there. The top has been worn off, so only the bottom part is there, but there was enough of it that it seemed to look like a toe bone when I was looking up examples. Finally, this piece, been told it might be a tilly bone, which is a specific bone that can be found in some fish. This brings us to the end of the video. If you like these types of videos, like fossil hunting videos, or if you like rockhounding related videos, I do both of those. And if you're new to the channel, please consider dropping a like and subscribing. And also in the description below, let me know what you found the most interesting out of all the fossils. I know a lot of people like the Megalodons, a lot of people like the Snaggletooths. Maybe you found like the Glyptodon scoots interesting. But please do let me know. I like to see what you guys think about the stuff I find. And I like to interact with you guys in the comment section. And please, folks, just have a wonderful day. And I will see you guys in the next video.